Yo, what is up YouTube? It's your boy Legend and I'm back with another video. You already know what this is just by looking at the thumbnail. And I know you guys been waiting for this one as well. Now, before we get into the intro or the video with that, I just gotta remind you guys, Naruto is literally almost the youngest person among his entire friend group in this What-if. Literally, Mikoto, Kushina, they're 16, 17, Minato 16, 17, Naruto's 14. But with that out of the way, let's just get into the intro so we can start this What If.
Give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate.
It's been 2 weeks, and Naruto has done some of his training. He's been training with Kagami to strengthen his Sharingan. In the 2 weeks that have passed, he hasn't seen Kushina at all. Part of that reason being, he's been walking around blindfolded to let his eyes recover some days. Currently, Naruto had an incredibly powerful Sharingan. It was almost at the limit of which a normal Sharingan could be, but he would have to strengthen his Sharingan in live combat to get the full potential out of his Sharingan. So now he was moving on to train his ninjutsu theory and events along with his control and techniques with Sakumo. Naruto arrived at the Hadake house and knocked on the door. After a few seconds, the door was opened by Sakumo, who was holding a mini Sakumo in his arms. Ah, right, I forgot. That I would be taking over your training today. Come in, Uzumaki. Naruto stepped into the house as told and looked around awkwardly. He wasn't comfortable with being in the place of other people. It made him feel vulnerable. Do you know how to read, Uzumaki? Asked the silver-haired Jonin. Naruto nodded as he caught a box of scrolls that was thrown at him. Did you learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu yet? Naruto nodded, feeling ashamed. I accidentally copied it from Kagami-san. Sakumo nodded, instructing Naruto to create 5 clones and start reading the beginner level of chakra theory and history scrolls. Naruto did what he was told and began to read. Naruto didn't know how long he'd been reading before he felt a presence behind him that wasn't Sakumo. Naruto swiftly turned, only to see a serious-looking Minato. Where is Sakumo? Naruto shrugged his shoulders before he spoke. He told me to read a bunch of these scrolls, and then he walked away. Sakumo then stepped into the room with his son. Why are you here, Minato? Minato turned to face the silver-haired Jonin. I need you for a mission, and this redhead as well. Usually I would just bring Kushina, but we're going through a rough patch at the moment. Sakumo gave a knowing look at Minato before he spoke. Yes, I've been told by the Hokage of what you did to her. In my opinion, you should be arrested or even killed, but it's not my decision to make. Minato glared at Sakumo, and this caught Naruto's attention. He immediately stood up and appeared directly in front of Minato with a glare. What did you do to Kushina? Minato looked at Naruto and scoffed, as he had a look of disdain on his face. Damn concern. Now I suggest you watch who you decide to buck up against, or else you may just lose your life. Minato said the threat with a deadly undertone as he shoved Naruto away, causing him to stumble back and trip over the box of scrolls. But before Naruto could actually fall, he quickly performed a substitution jutsu with Minato as the two shinobi swapped places, and both stood as tall as the two teens could as they glared at each other. Cold blue eyes glared down into spinning and cold three-tomo Sharingans. Minato looked into the eyes of the half-breed to show his dominance over him. Genjutsu really didn't work on him because his chakra was so dense. It was incredibly hard for Genjutsu to work on him. And because it was so little, maybe around mid to high Jonin level, he had an easier time controlling it because he didn't have to use as much because of the density. Naruto, however, remembered the state that he saw Kushina in, and to think that she was like that because of Minato pissed him off. Naruto moved off and appeared above Minato, attempting an axe kick, but Minato simply sidestepped and went to grab Naruto by the throat. However, what Minato didn't expect was to see another Naruto from the corner of his eye launch a kunai at him. Minato was so shocked that he couldn't even react. He was still trying to figure out when he made the clone. Sakumo, however, decided to step in. He moved with speed and precision. In less than a second, Sakumo had placed down his child, moved the few feet to where the two of them were fighting at, caught the kunai mid-flight, flipped Naruto onto his back, and tossed Minato across the room. Naruto fell with a grunt, and Minato slid across the floor until he hit a wall as Kakashi watched him slide across the floor with the head tilted. Sakumo sighed as he stood straight. "The two of you will not be fighting in my house. If you two have a problem with one another, then take it outside. But I will not allow anyone to put the safety of my child at risk. Do I make myself clear?" Naruto nodded, and Minato simply grunted as he stood and brushed his clothes off. He then spoke as he avoided looking at the two. "We leave in 2 hours." Naruto nodded as Minato walked out of the house. Naruto didn't know why Minato seemed to hate him, but he was quickly starting not to care. Naruto turned to Sakumo about, "Sorry for starting a fight in your home." Naruto then packed his things and took his leave, going to his own home. Naruto walked slowly. He was contemplating if he was going to go home or go and check up on Kushina. He didn't know what to do. Once Naruto got halfway to his house, he just decided against it and picked up his pace so he could just go home. He had two awesome animal companions to attend to. Meanwhile, Minato slammed a fist into the bathroom mirror. He glared into the shattered pieces of glass with anger on his face. He was supposed to be one of the Leaf's rising shinobi, one of their best. He had skills that aided him and his chakra density. He was able to use his chakra in the smartest way without exhausting himself. He was able to resist genjutsu with little difficulty. In his mind, he should be able to beat Naruto into the ground with little difficulty. But now it was 2 times that they had fought and it ended in a draw. And the first time, Naruto was blindfolded. After this mission, Minato needed to do something to gain more strength. Yeah, he was in the midst of learning the Flying Thunder God Jutsu, but there was one problem. That jutsu only offered him the speed of getting to places. It didn't offer him any punching or kicking speed. He was able to teleport places. Yeah, he'd be able to do that. This was the flaw with the jutsu. This meaning, if he wasn't able to beat Naruto in the first blow, then Naruto would be able to react to all of his strikes. He needed something that would help him get Naruto out of the way. And then he wouldn't be a problem anymore. and he'd be able to take Kushina back without worrying about anyone becoming too friendly with her. Meanwhile, with Kushina, she was currently sitting down inside her shower with the hot water running. She was shaking. She was kinda paranoid from what Minato had done to her. Let me pause it right here, you guys, just so you guys can get a little bit of a recap of what Minato did to her. I can't say it on YouTube, so I'm gonna say it in the most non-explicit way possible. Minato forced himself onto her. That's what he did to her in the last part. Now, back to the story. She was kind of paranoid from what Minato had done to her. She was also still sore down by her nether regions. She heard a banging on her front door as she jumped with a shriek before she buried her hands into her face. She then stood and turned off the shower water before stepping out and wrapping herself in a towel. She made her way to the front door and opened it, not bothering to see who it was. Mikoto ended up walking into Kushina's home with an almost timid gait. "You alright, sis?" Mikoto had to try her hardest not to stutter as she asked the awkward question. Kushina continued to walk slowly into her living room as she laid down on the couch, causing Mikoto to sit on the sofa opposite her. "Look, Kushina, I know you're not doing all that well, nor can I fathom how you feel, but at least let me know if you're somewhat okay, or if there's something I can do to help you." Kushina just looked at Mikoto. What was she supposed to say? That she was fine? She was okay? Honestly, Miko, I'm angry. I'm paranoid. It's hard for me to think, and I'm hurting. I didn't think Minato would be able to do something like that to me. We promised each other that we would wait until marriage, but he forced himself onto me. And yet, because of who he is and what he's doing, all he's getting is a slap on the wrist. So no, I'm not okay. I'm angry, I'm depressed, and I'm mad. Mikoto couldn't say anything, mainly because she had nothing to say. She herself has never experienced what Kushina has, so she couldn't even relate to her. Mikoto tried to say something. She looked for something, anything to say, but couldn't say a thing. "I don't expect you to say anything, Miko. After all, you've never experienced anything quite like this. And no, your missions as an Anbu don't count because you seduced them and then killed them at their weakest." Kushina chuckled, but Mikoto didn't. Yeah, she knew Kushina was in a weak state of mind, but that didn't mean she had the right to throw some of what she did as an Anbu in her face. "I hope you have a nice day and get better, Kushina." Mikoto then stood up and left, back with Naruto. Said redhead was packing what he needed for the mission that he was supposed to be going on. It was mainly clothes, a few ration bars, the kunai that he was supplied with, along with ninja wire and exploding tags. Naruto looked at the small spiral shape on his bed, and then he extended his arm towards it. Said shape uncoiled and quickly slithered up into Naruto's sleeve and coiled around his neck, taking her usual resting spot whenever she traveled with Naruto. Naruto grabbed his packed ninja pouch as he made his way towards his front door as Sheva, his pet black wolf, met him there as they both left with him. Naruto and his animal companions made their way to the front gate where Minato and Sakamo were waiting. You're really gonna bring that thing with you? Minato said the question while pointing at the wolf next to Naruto. That thing that you speak of is my best friend. Her name is Sheva, and you will address her as such. Sakamo placed a hand on Minato's shoulder. Let's just go. He's here, right? So let's go and get this mission over with. Minato nodded, and they all left the village. They all made their way at a quick pace. Yes, they were still in the land of fire, but they were also in the opening stages of a war. So they didn't have the luxury of just walking outside of a village and enjoying the sun. At any moment, some type of fight could break out. Time skip. Hours later, Naruto, Minato, Sakamo, and Sheva waited at a boating port. They had to threaten someone to get a boat, since the land of Eddies were now abandoned and nobody wanted to take the time to go there. Sakamo finally spoke. You know, if you would have just left Sheva at the village, we could have just walked across the water to the land of Eddies, since the whirlpools are out. Naruto looked at Sakamo and spoke. Sheva is my best friend, my companion, my weapon, my alarm system, and my first line of defense. If I leave the village, then she and Raken comes with me. Sakamo nodded as the man came back with the boat, as Naruto pushed the man out of the way, not needing or wanting him to go with them. The four of them piled into the small boat, and they all set sail through the once vicious waters to the land of Eddies. While sailing, Minato finally looked up and asked Naruto a question out of the blue. Naruto, how are you able to keep up with us with relative ease? When we first met you, you were able to go toe to toe with me while blindfolded. And while we were running through the land of fire, you were able to keep up with the both of us. But the two of us are two of the fastest shinobi in the Leaf Village. How are you able to keep up with the both of us with zero difficulty? Naruto blinked once, and then twice. Well, to answer your first question, I was able to go toe to toe with you because back when Naruto stopped talking for a second, as he took a deep breath. Back when my mother was still alive, she drilled the importance of fundamentals into my head. So when I was old enough, I began to train my body into the ground as much as possible. I trained my fundamentals, strength, speed, and stamina. Naruto then blinked as he nervously scratched the back of his head. Well, I guess I accidentally answered both questions, didn't I? Sakamo shook his head and chuckled, while Minato pinched the bridge of his nose. You're really stupid. You know that? But guys, I'm going to end it off right here. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe while you're at it, and without further ado, I'm out, and I will see you guys later. Also guys, we are very close to 1,000 subscribers. I'm not telling you guys to sub, but once we do hit 1,000, I'm dropping the 1K special, and you guys are in for a treat because all I'm going to say is, it's a what if that a lot of you have been begging me to drop. But I'm out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.